Hi, sis.
Ay, mag-ano ko si Sam, anong tawag doon?
Sige, sis.
I-co-host kita tapos mag-share akong screen. Paki-confirm naman sa chat kung okay yung audio. Pagka-share ko sis, pa-admit na lang sila. Thank you.
Thank you to Bedra. Challenges. I think mas mahirap yung tax against payroll. Payroll is easier to do than the tax. Mahirap siya, pero masaya kapag nakuha mo. Thank you, Bedrock. Thank you, Joe. And thank you to the Bedrock team.
Thank you so much, Joe and the Bedrock team. This is very challenging on my part, but it's part of growth and to learn more, including the bookkeeping job. Thank you so much for the challenges that you give us. I know that we still have more time to familiarize everything before we get into the real payroll job. Thank you so much.
Congrats sa batch 3 of the Payroll Masterclass. Big thank you to Miss Aileen for always available to answer all our questions and to my fellow batchmates for their constant support and motivations. And to Joe, thank you for all the challenges. Your project may have caused us some headache. Yeah, headache as always. But you told us it's good to have a headache because we learned from that. But it pushed us to dig deeper, learn more, and to realize our potential. Now I see that your teaching style was all about pushing us to be a resourceful and self-reliant and appreciate it. Thank you, Bedrock.
So thank you so much. This Bedrock experience really taught me a lot that it's not too late to start all over. It's not too late to change career. It's necessary, as what Joe have told me during our one-on-one conversation. You just have to know the why, and then it will motivate you. This is a new milestone for me. If you have that dream inside of you, no one can stop you. And as they say, the only way to success is to focus and believe in yourself. For believing in yourself, you are halfway there. Thank you so much, everyone, and congratulations.
One of the things I've learned is to be resourceful and be confident even if you don't know, research and ask questions. Thank you for Joe and the Bedrock team for really opening this course to us. It's a great opportunity for us to learn and get like a hands-on experience to do payroll tasks in a US setting.
Sobrang accommodating ng team kasi kapag meron akong questions, very accommodating. So, sobrang na-appreciate ko kasi I've been in some courses na din. Pero kapag may mga questions, parang nagiging active lang sila kapag sa group. Siguro dahil andun yung mga boss, superior. But kapag may mga direct messages ako sa admin, nakakakuha pa rin ako ng prompt response. So, kung gano'n sila ka-prompt mag-response dun sa group, ganun din kapag direct messages. And, hi Joe, I've learned so much na lahat, hindi lang about dun sa technical course, but as a person, sobrang napaka-motivating yung person. What I appreciated about Joe made me realize na pag naging intern ka sa Bedrock or kahit siguro sa ang company, kung if you will work for an experience, yung experience kasi na ibibigay sa'yo is more than just a money. Grabe yung encouragement sa akin ni Joe. So, more than the technical skills na nakuha ko sa course na to, mas na-appreciate ko yung hindi lang si Joe but even Miss Luz and Miss Catherine, Miss Eileen nung nag-share sila about experience nila.
For me, I'm specializing so in the consultation kasi I see to it that service offer ko to cater crypto accounting is addressed especially during the course and in terms of preparation with ITR and all that. I asked Joe specific questions about it and it was addressed, and I appreciate his knowledge in terms of updates and all that. So I really appreciate the course and Joe and of course the team. So me and my wife are always asking in terms of how we do this, and the specifics about the team are really helpful and giving us guidance on how to do it. So many thanks, guys.
Masasabi ko sa course is napaka-helpful niya, especially yung practice sets. Yan, tapos na-familiarize din ako sa paggawa ng tricks, tax prepare. Yan, so congratulations sa atin, and looking forward ako sa Jumpstart community natin. Yan, mamimiss ko tong class na to, mga classmates natin. And thank you po sa Bedrock, kay Joe, sa Bedrock team, especially din po kay Ma'am Eileen, kay Luz. Sa lahat po, maraming salamat.
Thank you so much for the teachings. Actually, I enrolled in this course because I plan to target also US market clients. I don't really have clients in the US because I'm not that confident that I know their tax rules. I think this course will help me be confident in handling US clients. I actually enjoyed working on the Drake because it's my first time to experience that one, and also the forms. It's my first time to see all the forms. I like about this course is it helped me to stay committed in what I promised to do for myself.
With this course, it was the push that I need to be serious and study the whole process of tax preparation. Before, I don't know where to put the wages, the pensions, the retirement distributions. I would like to thank Joe and the team.
Doing this 5-week course is not that easy. So you have that you need to have that accounting background already, because if not, it's like you will be misled. Where are you going? What are these numbers are for? So you really have to have that background already. So if you haven't have that background yet, maybe it's preferable to enroll in the 13-week course. With this, I've learned a lot, and I have a lot of questions with Joe. He remembers me, I know, because of my questions. So one of my takeaways of this, I love this part. It is in the chapter 4. It says, in the end, no amount of tax planning or problem-solving strategies is going to be of use to any entrepreneur if they don't have a solid financial foundation based on good bookkeeping and sound record keeping. So that phrase to me is it's more of a bookkeeper friendly phrase, because you will not have that good tax planning if your book is total mess. So it really starts with good bookkeeping and then a strategic tax planning. So thank you for this course. For now, I'm still enjoying my bookkeeping work, but who knows, in the future I will have that gut and courage to be a tax preparer.
Alright, good evening
Are
everyone.
you a bookkeeper or accountant in the Philippines who knows you should be earning more? You work hard, you know the numbers, you do the reports, you keep everything organized, but somehow your income still feels stuck. The problem is not your skill. The problem is that most bookkeepers get paid for tasks, while higher paying clients pay more for insight, strategy, and decision support. That's why I created From Bookkeeper to Virtual CFO, a practical program that helps Philippine accountants and bookkeepers build higher value skills, work from home, and position themselves for better paying client opportunities. Inside, you'll learn how to think like an advisor, understand cash flow and forecasting, and package a simple virtual CFO service you can confidently offer. So if you're tired of being paid only for routine accounting work and you're ready to become more valuable and earn more, Click below and join from Bookkeeper to Virtual CFO today. What if you could deliver better virtual CFO services in less time without sacrificing quality? Most finance professionals are still doing too much manually. Reporting takes too long, analysis gets delayed, and valuable insights often come too late to help the client make the right decision. In this course, you'll learn how to use AI agents to support real virtual CFO work, from reporting and forecasting to data analysis and risk management. You'll discover the AI landscape for CFOs, how to implement practical AI tools, how to organize and analyze data more effectively, and how to use AI responsibly inside finance workflows. This is not about replacing your judgment. It's about making you faster, sharper, and more valuable to your clients. Enroll today and start building your AI-enabled virtual CFO advantage.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So, happy Friday, everyone. So, thank you so much. 100 plus people who came here for, I think, last session for the CFO. But I saw some of you are first timer. Can you type one if you're a first time joiner here in the CFO webinar? Ayan. So, sa mga dati naman na naka-attend na from 1 to 4, pa-welcome naman tayo sa mga first timers. Okay, so I hope it will not be the last because we do have a lot of free training for you guys. We've been doing this for already, I think 4 years already. So please stay tuned, and once you're already in the classroom, you will receive notification for any free webinar. And we will assure for tonight, you will gain knowledge on how to become a CFO from freelance accountant to become a CFO, a high paying CFO service. All right, so I'm here with my partner Jody Chara. Where are you, partner? Yes, good evening.
Hello, partner. Thank you, Coach Yan Yan. And this is exciting. I haven't been this excited for a presentation in a long time. And we do a lot of presentations, and I love doing them. But for some reason, I've just been, really looking forward to this today. First and foremost, I want to give thanks, obviously, number one, to God. Without Him, none of this is possible. My amazing Bedrock team, because again, without them, none of this is possible. And thank you, Marianne, for being a great partner, a great teammate, a dear friend, and we're on this journey together, and it's important. And one thing that I heard, I love hearing all the testimonials, and to me, it's not about me. It's about helping people make that transformation. Just like you, Marion, when we first met, when I interviewed you and then hired you, and then you had the audacity to resign after only a month. When I interviewed you, you had this desire to help Philippine freelance accountants. Well, they're not freelancers yet, but showing them that becoming a freelancer was possible. And I know when you started doing this, there weren't a lot of freelancers. There weren't that many groups. There weren't that many people that were aware of the fact that you could work from home. Now, for me, I learned this over 20 years ago. I came across this technology called RDP. It was Microsoft's, uh, you know, tool to tap into somebody else's computer from anywhere. And as soon as I saw that, the 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 whole world exploded in front of me because all I saw was freedom. Freedom from having to commute, driving to my clients, taking the train into New York City, uh, the ball and chain. That's what I felt like I had on me, a ball and chain. So I've been doing remote accounting for over 2 decades now. And the first one that I taught, believe it or not, was my 65-year-old mother who lived 2,000 miles away, and she was working at a condominium, basically an apartment management firm. And like me, she had to get into her car. It was just a part-time job, and but it helped her pay the bill. She was taking care of my grandparents who couldn't drive anymore. They were in their mid 80s, and every time she left, she had a knot in her stomach because what if something happened? God forbid, she wasn't there to take care of them. So I called her and I said, Mom, I have an idea. I said, I found out that I could teach people from anywhere. Would you be interested in learning how to do bookkeeping for me? And her response was, What are you, crazy? I live 2,000 miles away. And my answer was, No, you don't understand. I'm going to teach you on your computer. And now just remember, she had no bookkeeping experience. She knew Excel. That's how she did bookkeeping, or she thought she was doing bookkeeping, but she had no prior accounting experience. The What she knew about the internet was how to shop and how to play games. So I took somebody with a completely clean slate, and remember this, she was 65 years old because I know, and we've trained a lot of students, well over 1,000 Philippine freelancers. And one of the roadblocks that I hear all the time is I'm too old. How am I going to get clients if I'm over 60? And I tell them the story about my mother. And the truth is, not only did I teach her how to do QuickBooks, she started doing payroll for me. She worked for me for over 15 years. And she resigned when I started doing Bedrock because it's a completely different business model. Everything's remote. All of our clients are 100% remote. And when she left, it was shocking to me because I didn't realize how much she was doing for me. She made my job easier. Okay. When I met Marianne and she had that group and she resigned, and I said, wait a second, I have this old course that I did after I taught my mother. I actually created a course on it. And I said I could tweak this to teach your freelancers. And we created the first course together. And that was almost 4 years ago. And now we have a slew of courses, and you know the the best is yet to come. That's what I like to think and say, and I truly believe that we're looking at probably the greatest opportunity that's been in existence for accountants since the United States created the tax code. Okay. When the United States created the tax law, they needed somebody to do the taxes, and accountants were in the right position at the right time. And so, that being said, I don't want to get into a long uh, run on sentence because I'm famous for that. Let's get on with the presentation. It's not that long a presentation. But the information I think could be the turning point for some of you. I hope most of you will see the opportunity that I'm talking about. So this is being presented by me and like I said, Coach Yan Yan, Marianne Labinetti. And let's go through the agenda for tonight. Number one, we're going to talk about why skilled accountants stay underpaid. I don't know if you feel like you're underpaid, but I guarantee you you're being underpaid. Okay. How to shift from getting paid for tasks to getting paid for decision-based advisory service. See, CFOs are viewed as strategic advisors. And the other thing, the chief driving force for me to create these bundles of courses is because of AI, every accountant, bookkeeper now can offer CFO services. Because before AI, some of the things that I'm going to show you that you can do today wasn't economically feasible. It would take too long. And we would have to charge the clients too much money. But today, because of AI, we can do this kind of service for single owner entities. See, it used to be that CFOs were hired by larger companies doing millions of dollars a year in business. They had a budget, they had a need for it. It's not like that anymore. I'm doing CFO work for single owner entities, doing 150,000 a year. Okay, so that's what's possible. And I'm going to show you step-by-step approach so that you can do it. What you're going to gain is you're going to get the quick story, the quick startup, the step by step. This is how you can do it. Okay. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to be easy. Nothing worth anything is ever easy. What we can do, what Marianne and I can do, is make it simple for you. We can coach you. We can give you all the nuts and bolts, all the tools that you're going to need to become a virtual CFO. If you're still in a brick and mortar position, the first thing that you want to do is get free from that. You want your freedom, and working remotely is freedom. Trust me. Trust me. If you're in that space, you know what it's like. I haven't been there for over 20 years. You sort of forget, okay? You sort of like that was so long ago, but for a lot of us, it's still a fact. It's still a fact. We're going to give you, if you're not in the AI space yet, number one, you need to be. And number two, we're going to make it simple for you. We're going to make it very simple for you. So don't, if you're, you have trepidation about, adopting AI, and a lot of people do, it's new. And anything new can be scary. We're going to take away the fear. We're going to make it so it's going to be one of the tools that you're going to go to on a daily basis. Okay. And Marianne and I, we are transparent. We don't hype. I'm not a salesperson. Okay. I'm an accountant. I'm an entrepreneur that has a CPA license that loves to teach. So let me tell you a little bit about me, and then I'll let Marianne tell you a little bit about herself. Like I said, I'm a CPA. From the time I was 10, I was an entrepreneur. I wanted to be in business. I didn't understand why people got jobs. I had set up a small casino basically in my driveway. There's a story behind that. But I invited a bunch of my friends. We played casino type games. I charged them admission. I think I charged them a quarter, 25 cents, and I wound up making like $3, which was a lot in 1970 for a 10-year-old. And I got the bug, the entrepreneur bug. And when I was 17, my father, he saw the path I was on, which wasn't a good path. And he said, CPAs run businesses. And that's all I had to know. And I said, I'm going to be a CPA. I didn't know that that meant I was going to become an accountant. And I resented him for a long time because I didn't enjoy being an accountant. I felt like I was trapped until one day I woke up and I realized, I had worked with thousands of business owners. I have some really good experience, and I can use that experience to help people earn money. And that has always been my goal. I believe that my purpose in life is to empower people by helping them make money, showing them how to do it step by step. And I'm fortunate enough that I get to do that almost on a daily basis. So Marianne, you want to tell them why you're qualified to present this info?
Yeah, okay. Good evening again, everyone. Again, for those of you first timer, I can speak in Taglish, so you better understand. Although I know here's Rowena Lobo from, I think, what's the nationality of Rowena? Shout out to Rowena Lobo. She's always active here. India, okay. Shout out to Miss India, Rowena Lobo. And I'm Miss Marian Loboneter from Philippines. Yes, so I think ayoko naman magbuhat ng bangko, but just like you guys na nandito, most of you started as a freelance bookkeeper, right? So most of you coming from corporate, transitioning to work from home a freelancer. So just like you, way back 2021, I'm sitting like just like you, listening to some of the free webinars, and eventually through consistent showing up and application through online jobs and LinkedIn, I applied in Bedrock. I think December 2021. Then January 2022, I got hired. And February 2022, I resigned exactly 1 month. So I create an email to Joe that, sorry to tell, regret to inform you, I will resign for this position because I'm also had clients, something like that. I'm very transparent that time. But during interview, again, for the sake of those people who doesn't know the story behind of Joe and me as a business partner, so, I mentioned I have a community back then, 1,500 now, 24,000 accounting peoples now, right now. So, then we started creating courses. One of the courses, first ever US tax course in the Philippines, I think Bedrock do it like, I think 60 students way back 2022, May to July 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So, from then on, we create different courses already, US payroll, and conduct different webinars just like you. So, just to cut the story short, we're here not only to create money, but more than that, I always mention this one is the something that money can buy. Do you know what's that? Tagalog na lang, hirap. Alam niyo ba kung ano yun for those Taglish? Ano tingin niyo ba, aside from money is the most important thing that you can achieve if you will really learn or perfect the freelancing career? Okay, sige nga. Knowledge, freedom. Ang makakuha ng correct answer, sige. Ayun, may nakita na correct answer. I saw Verna. Verna, freedom. Why? Because once you master the skills and you have money, sometimes kasi 'di ba nagtrabaho tayo ng 8 to 5 tapos work pa rin tayo ng work, walang tulog. But eventually, wala na tayong oras. And then we're looking for some freedom. Freedom in the sense that you will have time more on your family para mabigay yung, in a way, money. Then mapahappy sila, maka-travel, mapakain. Then you can work anywhere. Tama ba? So from now, you will be, again, sinabi ko to kahapon, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 3 phases in life, according to Francis Kong: survival, success, and significance. Now, my question is, where are you right now in your phases of life? Survival, success, or significance? Because for us, we're already on the significance level together with Joe. Although there's still survival because we have to pay the bills, right? But we already done the survival mode and we already know, the term been there, done that. So from tonight, me and Joe, we will guide you and teach you to really how to penetrate the market from USA, especially the US market. Eventually, find out your strength and maximize your potentials in a way that sooner or later you will realize you can be a CFO someday. Something that is AI cannot replace. Okay, that's all lang, guys. Tama ba ako? Nakagree ba kayo dun sa sinabi ko, guys? Sakto lang. In between, okay. Thank you. Okay, Joe.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. And so let's get on with the presentation. So we're if you're an accountant, a bookkeeper, you know that you're skilled, but the market is still gonna underpay you. I see bookkeepers accepting positions making $3 an hour. And to me, if you're okay earning $3 an hour, well, that's okay. That's up to you. But to me, I know that you can earn a lot more. And let me qualify this, okay? Because I only talk about the US market. I don't know the Australian market. Marianne knows it. I don't know the Canadian market. What I do know is that there's over 33 million businesses in the United States, and almost 30 million of them, almost 90%, between 85 and 90%, are single owner entities. Think about that. And every single one of them needs an accountant. Okay. And what I'm presenting to you, they don't need an accountant anymore. What they're going to need and want is a CFO. That's where this industry is going. Because I've witnessed the the introduction of desktop computers. I remember it 40 years ago. Accountants were scared. Oh my God, people aren't going to need us. Why are they going to need us when they can get a computer to add up all these numbers? Well, all computers did was create a whole nother revenue stream for us. Then came QuickBooks and TurboTax. The same thing happened. Accountants were, oh my God, it's going to replace us. I laughed at them. I laughed at them because accountants, unfortunately, are 5 years behind on any technology that comes into existence. They're, creatures of habit. I understand that. I already told you that I'm an entrepreneur. When I see opportunities, I jump on them. I got a lot of clients from QuickBooks because other accountants didn't see it for what I saw it. It wasn't a competitor. It was a tool. And I learned how to use it and how to make money with it. And that's what AI is today. And that's why you're gonna go from being an underpaid accountant bookkeeper to a highly paid CFO strategic advisor. That's what my goal is for all of you. But It's not about becoming a CFO overnight. That's not going to happen. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. It's going to take learning some new skills. But like I said, anything worthwhile is worth the effort. Here's the core problem, the income ceiling problem. If you're trading time for money, even if you're earning a good amount per hour, you're limited. You're limited. There's not that many accountants out there that actually got rich from being an accountant. Okay, I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups and I just saw all these accountants. You know what happens with US accountants at this time of the year? A lot of them retire because they've had it. They're done being, not recognized for the value that they bring. Okay, a lot of clients don't appreciate what we do, and there's a good reason for that. Actually, I don't think it's a good reason, but there's a reason for it, and we're gonna cover that. If you shift to advisory work, you're looked at completely differently. You're looked at as a planner, as somebody that can help guide the client. Now, I have been trying to do that for over 4 decades, guiding my clients. But when I'm just a tax guy, I'm somebody that they need because once a year they got to file their taxes. They would probably rather not have to hire me. But let's say there is no tax law. Let's say that the US is a tax-free country, okay? They're still going to want a CFO. They're still going to need a CFO because they have products and services that have to be sold. Money is going to come in, and most small business owners have no idea how to actually run a business. They don't know the financial side of their business. And this is why most accountants, freelancers get stuck. We have plenty of skills, but no real business plan. We have no roadmap. We don't position ourselves properly. Trust me, I spent decades as an underpaid, underappreciated accountant. Even though I was saving my clients millions of dollars. Once it was done, that thank you, Joe. That's great. But that's history. What are you going to do for me now? That wasn't fulfilling. That was, hey, I'm a hero for like 3 minutes, and then it's forgotten. The big shift is going from being a bookkeeper, being an accountant, being a numbers cruncher to a valued CFO styled advisor. This is what business owners really want. And let me tell you, and again, I'm talking about US businesses, US small businesses. What we deal with at Bedrock is most of our clients are single owner entities. Okay. They're great at what they do. They're great at selling houses. They're great at building stuff. They're great at fixing stuff. But they have no idea how to track their cash. One day they wake up and they say, "What happened to, I got more clients now than I ever did, and I have no money." It's because they don't have the skills to plan. A lot of business owners, especially in the US, are trained. We're conditioned to spend money. We borrow money that we don't have. And then when the business goes south for whatever reason, we're left shocked. And like I said, over 4 decades, literally working with thousands of business owners, I've seen this happen way too many times. Good people that were good at what they did, but they would have to close down their businesses. And it was because they didn't have a CFO type person to advise them. I was stuck in that accountant mindset for decades. They want to know what do I need to know now? What what business owners lose sleep over, besides getting audited by the IRS, they lose sleep over that, but they lose sleep over not knowing if they're making the right decisions. That's what they're losing sleep over. They want simple answers. Just tell me what I can do. Tell me what my options are. Most of them are making decisions based on their gut instincts. They make purchases when they don't have the money in the account. They hire people not realizing that they already have enough people. They're just not positioned properly. Here's the positioning ladder. We go from being a bookkeeper, because you can't be an accountant until you're a bookkeeper. If you don't know bookkeeping, you can't be an accountant. There are enrolled agents out there. Okay, if you don't know what an enrolled agent is in the US, they are specialists in taxes. They learn US federal taxes. They don't even study state taxes. Okay? They don't know how to do accounting. They're not really accountants. Most of them, I mean, some of them are accountants. They start out as accountants and they become enrolled agents. I'm talking about people that come out of college and decide, I'm going to be an enrolled agent. They can't do what they do is they ask their clients for their financial reports. And a lot of times, those financial reports are done by the owner. That's not good business. There's a big gap there, a huge gap. So we go from learning bookkeeping to being an accountant, basically a historian. And what I'm suggesting here is that we turn the tables. We become the virtual CFO strategist. Now, what does a CFO actually do? Cash is king. A lot of what we do is focusing on cash. How much do we have now? How much is going to come in? How much is going out? And how much are we going to have, let's say, 90 days from now? Apple Computer, one of the biggest companies in the world, about 20 years ago, was facing bankruptcy. Their CFOs knew that they were going to run out of cash in 90 days. And I looked at that, I said, how could they do that? How could they know that? This company is doing billions of dollars in business all over the world. They have thousands of employees, but the accountants, the CFOs, pinpointed it. And believe it or not, Bill Gates from Microsoft was the one that bailed him out. He invested, like, I forget how much, 250 million into Apple. And but the fact is that Apple was a huge company and they were able to measure the cash. So I'm going to ask you, if they can do it for Apple, don't you think you can do it for a small business? Of course you can. And the crux of the position. That's the crux of what a CFO does. You see, the money that people have in the bank is a result. It's a result of the decisions that they've made before. And like I said, most business owners are making decisions based on their gut, hoping that it's going to translate into cash in the bank. What we do as CFOs is we're taking those numbers, those facts and figures, and we're projecting based on factual assumptions. That's how we do it. There's a science behind it. And only accountants are able to do this. If you're So I'm old enough to remember when QuickBooks first came on the scene. And the biggest lie that was ever told to business owners was a marketing gimmick. Intuit convinced business owners that they could save money by doing their own book. That was the stupidest statement that I ever heard in my life. So what they did was they made a restaurant owner a bookkeeper. They made an auto shop owner a bookkeeper. They weren't saving any money. And it took them a long time to realize that. I don't think people are buying QuickBooks anymore thinking they can do their own bookkeeping. And the ones that are the ones that eventually get into trouble. And guess what? There's millions of them that need help also. They run into financial problems and then they run into tax problems. So this is about positioning yourself. You don't, first off, if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, don't call yourself a bookkeeper anymore. Call yourself an accountant because in the business owner's eyes, a bookkeeper might make $10 an hour when an accountant makes $50 an hour. And all it is the perception. You're doing the same work. You're doing the same work. So don't apply for positions as a bookkeeper, even if you're doing bookkeeping. It's the perception. It's also how you think of yourself, what you think your job is. Okay. What CFOs also do is we analyze trends and measure risks. I'm doing that with AI. I'm telling my clients, the ones that are in that position, if they're not using AI, they're falling behind because their clients are using AI. And CFOs are in the position if the client doesn't have the time or the desire to learn how to implement AI, well, who would be better suited than to implement AI tools into the accounting workflows? What AI does is it compresses time. It allows us to do things faster, more efficient, and better. It's not going to replace us. That's just not going to happen. And finally, what the CFO is going to do, what our job as a CFO is to help the business owner make informed decisions and take action. And that's going to help them sleep at night. And if they're sleeping at night, you become more valuable. Why this opportunity fits Filipino accountants. And if you're not Filipino or from the I apologize. I apologize. I'm not excluding you, but for Marianne and I live in the Philippines. I'm part of the community, part of the culture. But if you're not from the Philippines, don't feel like this isn't for you. Okay. Uh, Filipinos, because of the culture, you want to be with your family. You want to work from home. I have team members that once they found out about Jumpstart and how Bedrock worked, they were able to go home to their families. We had one woman that her family lived in a province. She had to work in Manila, and she came to work for Bedrock. She worked for us for a year, and her mother unfortunately passed away. But you know what she told me? She said, I got to spend the last year with my mother. That would have never happened if she wasn't able to work from home. So it's powerful. It's powerful. It gave me freedom, and it's going to give millions more people the same freedom, the freedom and the opportunity. If you think about it, if you're not working from home, everything you do is geographically limited. Even if I've met people that are traveling 3 hours to work and back to work. That's insane. Not only the money, but the time, the wasted time. You're less replaceable. Okay. When you're a CFO, it's going to be hard to replace you. I've been saying for decades that there's a big problem in the US because there's just not enough accountants. When I went to school 45 years ago, everybody wanted to be an accountant. Why? Because not that they wanted to be accountants, they wanted an accounting degree because that meant it was easier to get a job. It was easier to get a job than if you just had a business degree. And then what happened? Computers, the internet, uh, new opportunities opened up for people. And accounting firms were notorious for hiring people, paying them very little, and making them work a lot of hours. So over the decades, less people are going to school for accounting. And now here we are 40 years later, and there's literally a big problem in the US. There's a big problem because companies can't find accountants. That's why if you're in the Philippines, recently they opened up the CPA exam here. You could actually become a US certified public accountant. And that alone holds a lot of weight. Why would they do that if they already have enough accountants? Because they don't. So imagine you become a CFO, you're not getting replaced. You're just not getting replaced. You write your own ticket. You decide who you want to work for, what kind of industry, and you're in the position of control. Okay, that's why this is a great opportunity. Now we actually have a roadmap. We have a roadmap for you because it would be silly for me to tell you you can do this and not provide you with the guidance. So here's step one. Actually, that was step one. The step one is we have the roadmap. Step two is you start thinking like an advisor. So I'm going to show you a bundle of courses that we're going to offer you. The first course is all about your mindset because that's where it starts. If you believe you can do this, then you're going to do it. If you don't believe you can do this, then you're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. And the reason why you should believe that you do it is because it's been done already. Plenty of people have done it. The only difference between you and them is you haven't tried yet. You haven't made the decision. Maybe you didn't even know that it was possible. I got my steps mixed up. Anyway, we're going to help you build CFO level tools. Okay. Budgeting forecast. They're not the same. Okay. A budget is you're gonna create a budget based on history, and then you're gonna do what CFOs do. You're gonna do the budget variance reports. And what a CFO does, which is different than an accountant, not only are you going to find the variances, but you're going to find the reasons why. What were the triggers? What were all the steps that happened before this variance? And there could be good variances and bad variances. A forecast is something different. A forecast will give you what if scenarios. What if clients stop paying? What if instead of paying in 20 days, they start paying in 40 days? What's that going to do to our finances? What if sales go up? What if they go down? That's a forecast. Like I said, variance reviews, and last but not least, KPI interpretation. Now, if you don't know what a KPI is, it's key performance indicators. I used to think that those were for big companies. When I hired my coach, Larry Bratton, who was running a $250 million hotel empire, one of the first things he taught me was KPIs. And I remember telling him, I'm not that big. Why do I need KPIs? And a couple of years later, that was, it was in, it was, how should I say it? As the business owner, it helped me tremendously, tremendously. So that's what I'm saying you could do. Go from the accountant historian to the strategic advisor. It's almost like we can be fortune tellers. We can look into the future. Step 3 is AI is a tool. Remember that, just like QuickBooks is a tool. QuickBooks never did anybody's bookkeeping. People do it. AI isn't going to be a CFO. You're going to be the CFO. AI is a tool. And one of the things that we're going to teach you is what we call guardrails. Ronald Reagan, one of our greatest US presidents, had a quote once. He said, trust but verify. Trust the AI, but make sure the facts are correct. And there's ways to do that. And step 4 is we're going to actually help you create your CFO offer. It's important. You you can make an offer. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you already have a position. Let's say you already have a client. Well, what if you start doing the CFO work without even telling your client? What if you start doing budgets and forecast and then present it to them? And what you'd be doing is basically positioning yourself to make them an offer before they're even asking for it. See, here's another fact. A lot of business owners don't think of themselves as even being big enough to have a CFO. So it doesn't have to be their idea. It can be your idea. And then you give them a little taste. Then, if they don't appreciate what you're doing, Well, now you have CFO experience. Now you can go out there and find clients that want a CFO. This is a picture before and after. Before I reconcile reports and I reconcile books and send reports. That's a historian. That's an accountant. And the client says, "Wow, great! Thank you for the balance sheet and income statement. Tell me something I don't already know." Because it's history. The client already knows if they have cash. Most small businesses, they look at two things: their sales and their bank balance. Literally. That's how they run their business. Well, a CFO can change all that. A CFO, I help business owners understand cash flow and make better monthly decisions. If you get into if you get into a meeting with a potential client or a potential accounting firm, and they ask you, "So why should I hire you?" You want to tell them that you reconcile books and prepare reports better than anyone, or do you want to tell them that you help their clients understand what's going on with their business? So this is the four course bundle that I'm talking about. Number one, the CFO mindset. Believe it or not, even accountants, this is what it starts with. It's going to start with your mindset. What are your talents? What's your experience? Do you look at yourself as a CFO? Do you look at yourself as somebody that can actually help the client, not just producing their reports or doing their tax return? Do you view yourself as a valuable resource? Because if you don't, then your client's not gonna. Cash flow confidence. This is where we go into things like the KPI dashboard and the different uh, AI tools that you can be using to create all of these uh, financial information. Okay. The third course is how to actually deliver your CFO course. So yeah, we're going to show you how to sell it. And Marianne will tell you because she's a master. Marianne's business is, and I'll let her talk about this. Marianne's business is basically matching prospects, accountants with people that need their help. Accounting firms, business owners, because she's somebody that you want to know. If you want to be out there, because what Marianne is great at is number one, getting the interview. A lot of you might be looking for positions and you're sending out 40, 50, answering 40 or 50 job posts and you're not getting a response. And maybe you're thinking, oh, it's me. No, it's probably not you because all of these firms, guess what they're using? They're using AI. They're using AI to filter the responders. I know for myself, I could put an ad on onlinejobs.ph for an accountant, and within a few hours, I'll have 100 resumes. Literally. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to put jobs out there because I have so many students. We if we need somebody, we pick from our students. Okay. But that's what's happening. So Marianne could teach you how to get an interview, and then not only that, how to nail the interview and get an offer. Marianne has a coaching business also, and I'll let her talk about that. And last but not least, this was one of my favorite courses ever to put together. It's all about the AI agents. And with that course, you're going to get a whole library of existing AI agents that I created myself, and I'm creating them all the time, all the time. So that's the course bundle. Now, you might be saying, well, why is this different? What makes this different than other courses out there? First of all, I don't think I've ever even come across a course on how to become a virtual CFO. That's one thing. But what you get with me and Marianne, you don't just get the courses. Let me make that clear. Okay. We create we've created a community, and that community is a huge resource. There's students in this meeting right now, and our students usually don't take one of our courses. They take multiple courses, and they attend our workshops. We have a lot of workshops. We have every so often we have free courses. We just finished a CFO course. Okay. And the CFO course was actually the first course where we talked about the mindset. You're going to get step-by-step lessons here. And like I said, all of my students can always book a chat with me. That's one of the uh, parts of what I offer students. Okay. Number two, you get advisory frameworks and templates. Marianne last night, she just did a presentation using Claude that in like 3 minutes, she came up with an unbelievable spreadsheet. It was an audit template for Australian clients. And and believe me, I'm heavily in the AI space, but I didn't know Claude could do that. So this morning, I signed up. I paid for a whole year of Claude up front because that's the kind of tool that I want. The AIs I use right now, mainly ChatGPT and Gemini, because I use Google Workspace. Now I'm signing up for Claude because they all have different personalities. They all do different things. Okay. So Marianne's got a ton of templates, and like I said, we make everything as simple as possible. We're going to clear the path for you. And this is the path that you need to choose. You can start tonight, you can build it, and actually I like to tell people you never actually arrive. It's a journey. Okay. I don't care where you are now, you're never going to arrive. I'm going to change this slide for the future. It's a journey. Okay. I'm doing this over 4 decades. Every day I try to learn something new. This is the decision that you're looking at right now. Do you want to learn the roadmap? Do you want to build the tools? Do you want to be able to package your own offer? And believe me, when you do that first offer, you're you're gonna be like how I felt when I got my CPA license. Okay. We all have worked hard. You don't become an accountant without working hard. But when you package that first offer, even if it's not accepted, you're going to feel amazing. Now, you might be wondering, how much is this going to cost me? Well, the 4 courses are each priced at $40 a piece. So that's what, 160 US dollars. It's actually more than 8,000 pesos. If you've attended this workshop, we're going to give it to you for $3,997. If you act now, it's only $29.97. That's about $60 US. And what you're talking about is a small investment that has the potential of changing your life. That's a fact. If you want to stop getting paid for tasks, I'm urging you right now to join Marianne and I on this journey. So again, just to review, course one is going to be about the CFO mindset. Course two is all about the actual formulas, the budget templates, the KPI dashboard. Course three, we're going to teach you about actually packaging your CFO services. And course four is all about, I'm not just going to give you the AI agents, we're going to teach you how to actually create your own prompts because that's what drives all the AI agents, all the AI programs. If you know how to do a prompt, the sky's the limit. And let me tell you, we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet with all of these AI programs. So that's my story, folks. I'm sticking with it. I want to thank all of you. We're at 179 people now. I see people coming in, going out. I hope that you've learned something tonight. I hope that I've given you something to think about. And finally, I hope that you make the right decision and sign up for the bundle. Okay? Not because I want to sell you something. I have plenty of things to sell. My business is accounting. Okay, I'm not giving this away for free. Okay, I've priced this at a such a reasonable level so that everyone could afford it. Now, I'm going to make this offer. If you really can't afford it, connect with me and we'll figure it out. Okay. What I want, my goal for all of you is, like I said, to get empowered, to learn new, better ways to make more money. Okay. Be at home with your family, write your own ticket. If you just want to get a full-time position with an accounting firm or a business, that's fine. I have a whole slew of accountants that work with me full time. Okay. If you want to go out and start your own agency and get your own clients, you can do that too. But the bottom line is the sky is the limit. You have the option to be in control today. So God bless. Thank you all. And we're going to stay around for if you have any questions. And Marianne, you want to tell them a little bit about your uh,
Yes, actually,
coaching
yeah, there's a lot
program?
of questions here, but maybe just to really validate what we're I think we did it already 2 years ago, the CFO webinar. There's a lot of people who ask me how to become a CFO. But before, there's no such thing as having a course about CFO because for me, based on my experience, it comes with a training from being a supervisor, manager, eventually CFO. But today, because of the AI and the joint forces of Joe and me through my experience, we can teach you on how. I think maybe I can call Olivia. Sorry for calling you on the spot. Can I call Olivia? Olivia,
Yes,
anak,
yes,
you're here.
coach.
So Olivia is currently, just recently, we got client as a CFO and outsource accountant. So the story behind, pwede ba Tagalog? I'll speak in Tagalog. So the story guys behind is one of my mentees refer me to the client and the client needs a CFO and eventually outsource accountant. So what happened is I hop in a call with the client. I already shared the video to my mentees how I do it from interview to onboarding. So just now the client told me that they're happy with our progress within 1 week. I can share you with you the chat that he mentioned. I just now while we have a Zoom, so just texting me and Olivia is one of the intern and I want maybe from Olivia how I lead the team as your, in a way, CFO. Maybe you can share how I do the training and empowering you guys. Maybe Tagalog na lang, Olivia. Just to
Sige, coach.
understand. Sige.
Parang ma-pressure ako. Actually, si coach, ano talaga siya, hand in hand sa'min. Every time ano siya sa'min, nag-i-inquire siya sa'min kung ano yung gagawin and then lagi siyang ano, present. Kapag may mga queries kami, on time siya mag-ano sa'min, hmm, mag-assist. And then yung lahat ng kailangan namin from the project na ginagawa namin ngayon sa client, lahat yun, sinasabi namin sa kanya and then she always forward that to the client and um, ini-inform niya kami head on kung ano yung mga sagot ni client. And then ngayon, we're working on the project, para sa'min ano, challenging pero masaya dahil nandiyan si coach. Lagi siyang nakaalalay, lahat ng kailangan namin from the client, pino-provide niya and sobrang ano siya sa'min, hands-on. Yun lang po yung mashi-share ko.
You're muted, Marianne.
Sorry for putting you on the spot, Olivia. So, as a CFO, for you guys, napakahirap niya. But the CFO is just a matter of, I'll just teach you on how to communicate. Just now, the client told me they appreciate the communication, not the English, but the communication. When we say communication, how I onboard the clients, how I make them feel that they are not lost with the process. Imagine that AI that I did for the checklist is coming from Claude and I sent to the client. The client is amazed on how I do it without realizing it's AI. But I collaborate my skills on the communication because I've already, been there, done that. I already done clients that I lost because I don't have a good communication. Good communication is the workflow and process, SOP, cheat sheets on hand. So if you have this kind of structured and workflow as a CFO, hindi kayo malulos. And with my help, I can guide you on how you will deliver a services to the client. Just now, yun ang sabi ni client. Masaya siya and then meron pang potential collaboration with me. Nakita niyo yung sinabi? Meron siyang contact sa national, sa AU. So, lumalaki. Sabi ko dun sa team, gawin natin tong maganda kasi pag na-perform natin 'to, nakita ko yung client, yung profile niya, kaya niya pang magbitbit ng maraming client. And sila na yung magiging pioneering team. Yung intern na yun, guys, paid yun. Even the rate, I'm very transparent to the team. Pina-screenshot ko, pinarinig ko lahat para alam nila na open tayo. Whatever the cost, the rate, it will be shared equally to everyone. Okay, so ganun ko sila tinitrain. And you, if you will enroll in this course, I'll train you how to become one and how to really deliver to the client the CFO service that they want. I can, siguro naman yun ang mapapromise ko. I have the testimony na with other team members. And AI, ayan, gustong-gusto ko yung AI. And you know me naman, napaka-visible ko. All around naman tayo sa mga social media and other things. So, in case you're doubting if you're really to be a CFO someday, anyway, the courses is nandyan na, nakalatag na, ready na yan anytime. It's just a matter of your taking action na lang. Sorry, Joe, I need to speak Tagalog para mas maintindihan nila yung thoughts of my sharing. Okay. Okay, let's connect on
Okay.
LinkedIn. Also, by the way, you can join the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joe, sorry, may mga questions. How long is the course? Self-paced ba siya or what? Duration, live training or recorded?
I've been going through some of the questions, so a lot of people want to know if it's live or recorded. These are all self-paced courses. Okay. Uh, so that answers that question. There's some questions about the level of experience that you need. Like I said, if you're considering yourself a bookkeeper, you're an accountant. I've had plenty of CPAs, Philippine CPAs, take my courses. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey. You can become a CFO. Now, somebody with 30 years of experience as a CPA is going to probably find it a lot easier. But if you're a bookkeeper or a new accountant, listen, if you have an accounting degree, you have the brains and the knowledge. Okay. All you need is a little guidance and a little more education. And like I said, I'm 65. I'm doing this over 4 decades, and I keep learning stuff almost every day. So if you're willing to learn, that's the answer. All you need is a desire. If you have the desire, Marianne and I are here to help you. And so also, and I got to apologize for this. I should have tested this before. I put a link in the chat to actually sign up for the courses. I'm not sure if it's working, so if somebody could test it out and let me know. At the very least, you're probably going to get an email uh, with another link. So yeah, okay. So Ellen just put the link in there also. Uh, okay, so May just said it's working. Okay, thank you. The other thing, some of you said about the money, you don't have enough money, and that's understand. That's okay. Okay, I want people to do this. So I'm going to put another link in here. You can either email me or book a chat with me, and that's in the chat. Uh, you can all, because the chat is pretty long, you can actually save the chat if you go on the bottom of your Zoom window somewhere here. I think there's 3 dots, and I think that you can download the whole chat. Are there any other questions that we haven't covered?
Yeah, there's a question. How about non-accounting graduate nor any related course but only have the work experience in bookkeeping? It's possible, guys, as
Listen,
much yeah, because it's possible as long as you're really dedicated on the course. And anyway, we have a lot of free courses you can learn inside, especially in the
listen,
classroom.
Marianne, you're living proof. You turned yourself into a CFO, didn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, everybody starts from scratch. All of us. If you've been working as a book in a company, I'd put money on the fact that you probably already have the skills you need to become a CFO. And I'm going to be saying this for forever. AI is making this possible. Okay. I've had the skills and the knowledge a long time. I've done a lot of CFO work, but did I go and make, 13-month budgets for my clients? No, never. I do it for myself, but I would never get paid for that. But you want to know something? I never even told my clients I can do it. Think about that. I'm over here telling you that you can do it and you should do it for your clients. I never did it. I'm going to be doing it now because once I saw what AI could do, I said, there's unlimited possibilities out there. I resented my father for a long time. I said, you tricked me into becoming an accountant. And then I realized, I said, I don't just have to be an accountant. I could teach that with our experience, and Marianne proves this so many times. If you have an accounting background, that opens up so many doors for you. CFO door is just one of them. It's a big one. There's a huge payoff, but with an accounting background, there's so many things you can do. You can get into insurance and banking. Uh, the sky is really the limit. The sky is the limit. So, are there any other questions?
Guys, you can speak in Tagalog if you're for those people, especially first timer. For those naman hindi first timer, for sure you know me and I have already approved and working process na na-establish ko. And then, ayan, currently we're having a CFO services on how I created a process flow with the client expectations and then the team, how I handle them to make sure we're on track and we can deliver. So, because I'm in ako ngayon no sa isang client ko sa isang company is talaga ang naging ano ko is focus ko is onboarding. Onboarding and process flow and make sure the client and the employee is communicating well. Ako yung nasa gitna para parehas sila serve. Client and employees, both ko siya pinakikinggan. Siguro yun role as a CFO, you have to be parang mediator ka. Tama ba? And then make sure your alignment. Bedrock is an agency, no, a company in the US. So, but recently, due to the demands, just to answer your questions, nagkaroon na siya ng parang universities, different kind of courses because hinahanap na ng mga tao, mga accountant. Do you have this one? Dati wala kaming CFO course. Hinahanap na, do you have one? Kasi currently, we're hiring a CFO in one of my clients plus accountant. The rate for accountant is $10 to 15,000. Long-term client ko na to, bumalik siya. So, yun yung hiring namin para lang ma-segue ko. And then, tax preparer, we do have. So, we do have continuous hiring, online and on-site. Bicol, we have Israel client. So, sa Israel client, madami kami hindi accountant ang mga hinahanap doon, CEO, iba't ibang roles. Again, just connect with me on LinkedIn and then sa WhatsApp, I can share yung mga opening namin. And of course, we're also teaching how to get client on my coaching session. Maybe some of you already enrolled and again can testify how is my coaching looks like. Sino ba nag-enroll dito ng coaching ko? Pa-type naman ng 1. How was it? Pa-type naman ng 1 kung happy sila. So, marami-rami na ako naging coach dito na pero wala kaming CFO courses. I'm doing the first step, which is getting clients. Yan, marami na sila and so far happy naman siguro sila. Mode of payment, Joe. I think credit
Yeah.
card and GCash. I don't know.
Well, you can't use Gcash on the link, but if they email me, I'll forward them to Ellen, and Ellen can get the Gcash. So yeah, we can take Gcash, but it's got to be a separate link.
Question. There's a question, Grace. Go ahead, Grace.
Hi,
Grace,
coaches. Oh yeah.
go
Good
ahead.
evening. Yes, I just want to have a clear roadmap on which one to take. I know Coach Yan is well aware of this because I'm very open to her with regards to what are the next step that I wanted to do. But right now, I'm really a bit lost as to which path to take because I've been a bookkeeper already for more than a year, but I'm not confident, and that was I promised Coach Yan to do to master and solidify more my bookkeeping skills. but I wanted to do and learn how to become a tax agent, and now opening the idea of becoming a CFO. So I'm totally lost which one I should prioritize first, but definitely the primary goal is to increase my income and get to the freedom that I wanted. So I wanted to get some advice. And should I take this course now or not yet? That's it.
Yeah, I'll answer that, Marianne, then you can follow up if you want. Uh, so becoming a tax professional is literally going to take years of experience. You can't just take a course and then start doing people's taxes. Okay. Yeah, you'll have to take some courses. So like for instance, the only accountant on our team that hasn't taken one of our courses is Luz, because she started with us when we first started 5 years ago. We didn't have any courses. What we've done is students that were really dedicated. We wound up hiring them as interns. Okay, so they got hands-on experience. And then when we needed to hire somebody for our team, we picked them from our former interns. But the answer is, yeah, you should definitely learn about taxes. That's just going to give you more ways to make money. Okay? Tax preparers are in demand. But as far as becoming a CFO, I would start today. You there's you already if you've been doing bookkeeping for what, a year?
Mm. Yeah, correct.
True. You would be a great example for us to prove that I'm right. Okay. So I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to do it. Okay. And what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is you spend the money on the courses, you take them, and you never apply it. Okay. But that would be on you. But you would wind up with all of that knowledge, and then maybe 10 years from now, you'll say, hey, let me try that CFO thing. Because this is what your biggest obstacle is, Grace. You know what it is?
Not yet.
When when you look in the mirror, that's your biggest obstacle. Because you said, I don't have the confidence yet.
Yeah, that's true. Probably because of how I see my bookkeeping skills at the moment.
Because, and this is how you get confident. You take the leap, you take a leap of faith, and you fail. You make mistakes. And then you say, oh, now I know what not to do. And then little by little, you grow. And then one day you wake up and you say, oh my God, I'm actually a really good bookkeeper. There's no other way around that. You got to go through the pain, you know? There's professional athletes. You think they just wake up and they're getting paid millions of dollars? Baseball players, they go out and they strike out all the time. You got to be willing to do that. But it takes one thing, and that's a decision. That's all it takes, right? So,
Yeah.
you have any other suggestions for her, Marion? To me, she's like the poster child of what the possibilities are.
Yeah, she's just like me that it's normal, the ADHD on us that we want this, we want this, we want this, but sometimes we're so confused. But the thing is, the moment you entertain that thoughts, it means you're moving or growing. That's the sign of you want growth because your mind didn't stop on wanting more. So that's it. So either way, tax preparer, CFO, later, whatever it is, anyway, we're still here. So we're just here to support you. We're not rushing you to take this immediately, but again, at least the thought of entertaining it is something sign of growth na yan. So, hindi ka na kasi matatahimik eh hangga't hindi mo siya nagagawa at hindi mo siya nasubukan. Once nasubukan mo siya, 'di ba sabi nga nila, once you tried all yung todong effort mo na, 'pag nasagad mo na siya, wala ka ng imposible kasi nagawa mo na yung pinakasagad mo. At least you tried. Wala namang assurance in this world eh. Tama? I'd rather
Yes.
take the risk and took all the risk kasi yun naman ang life eh. Then regret it by I didn't try at all. Kasi the moment you stop on trying today, somebody will do it na mas mabilis. Kasi nagawa ko yun eh. Mas mabilis lang ako sa inyo. Kaya nga 5 years ago na ako nag-start eh. So if you will not do today, may malalampasan ka ng ibang tao. Yun lang naman
Wow.
yung take ko doon yan. Okay. Thank you, Grace, for
Thank you,
for
coaches.
yep.
Thank you.
Others, again, self-face po yung CFO, guys, for those newly come in. It's a self-face. Maybe we will just have added training para makausap nyo ako. If you have question, we can post all the question and have as live training just for you guys. Because I'm sure there's a lot of questions and I can teach on how to really create checklist through Claude AI, which I did last night. Kahit kayo lahat nagulat. So, yan. On my
Shirley
coaching,
wants to know about your coaching.
yeah, my coaching is basically from zero because the thing is the VA like you is also confused what to do first, right? So normally, hindi kayo napapansin sa application, tama? Type 1, tama? Alam yung skilled kayo, but hindi kayo napapansin sa market, tama ba? And then once napansin naman kayo, hindi kayo nanalo sa interview, tama? Pa-type ulit ng number 2, phase 2 yon. Natanggap naman kayo sa interview, the problem is wala kayong workflow pagdating sa client. Nakanganga kayo during first day kasi wala kayong alam kung ano ang gagawin, uunahin. Ito yung sinasabi kong communication kasi there's a lot of way to communicate with the client, not necessarily English, but the process flow that you will give to the client. Kayo yung magdadrive sa client, hindi sila during onboarding. And the next is the phase 4, wherein you will lose clients along the way. So what you have to do is to build the foundation of marketing and branding yourself, which is LinkedIn. So getting client is not only online jobs, Upwork.
Yeah, you want to know something, Marianne? I'm glad you brought that up because one of the courses I created was an AI course on how to use AI to land a job. And one of the statistics that I came across that was really like I couldn't believe it. 80% of the jobs out there aren't even posted. Think about that. All the jobs that you see on LinkedIn, on online jobs PH, that's only 20% of the positions out there. So how are positions being filled? Through people like Marianne, through networking, through referrals. So this is why, what Marianne does is so powerful. She not only has, a ton of connections, she's one of the, and I don't know if she mentioned this, she's one of the top 100 Philippine freelancers on LinkedIn. So she's got a brand, she's recognized, people reach out to her. Plus, the training that she does. The training is, I've never seen anybody else that can do what she can do. And that's why we make a really good team because I could teach all about accounting and taxes and how to deal with American entrepreneurs, and she'll show you how to get in the door and close the deal. So, Marianne had a power outage. So yeah, that's a common thing here in the Philippines. So I'll do my best if anybody has any other questions. I've put my contact info in. Marianne has her own group on Facebook. It's called Accounting Peoples. And Bedrock has the Jumpstart Your Freelance career on Facebook. We're both very, very active in that. Thank you. Ellen just posted my contact info. If you have any questions about our courses, your career, reach out to me. You know, a lot of people think, oh, I don't want to bother Joe. He's too busy. Well, yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy. Every business owner is busy. Okay. But part of my job as the CEO of Bedrock and the creator of Bedrock Business Training is to meet with students. It's simple. So unfortunately, a lot of students don't connect with me because the idea is, oh, Joe is busy. Well, if I'm too busy, I won't take the appointment. But all you got to do is go to Time with Joe, pick the student thing. Don't pick if you pick the prospect thing, you'll have to pay us $75. That's too you think that's funny, right, Joe Mel? Uh, that's to eliminate any scammers. There's a lot of scammers out there. So if you do book a chat, make sure that you mention the workshop. Okay, because yeah, scammers will tell me that they're a student, and if there's somebody that I don't recognize, I'll ask them, why do you want to meet with me? And then all of a sudden they disappear. So somebody had their hand up. You want to ask a question, Kamel?
Hi, Sir Joe. Yes.
Oh,
Hi. Am I audible?
yes.
I would like to raise a question in relation to networking. You mentioned that uh, one of the advantages is to have a network of community to market yourself and to advertise and communicate more with potential clients, right? My question is, how is it more advantageous to have a network online than in a personal level?
So it's extremely powerful because before social media, before the internet, the only way to network and make connections was physically. And I would join professional networking groups, I would go to events, and that's how I got most of my clients. Today, people build businesses and careers on platforms like LinkedIn. Look at Marianne. She's got over 50,000 followers. That led to a, you can't even count how many connections she's made with world-class influencers. So you want to do both. Okay. You want to stay connected if you can locally. If you're in a place where there's people, uh, don't discount that. I mean, there's still no substitute for a face-to-face meeting. You can't, it's not the same as a Zoom call. Okay. But if you're not leveraging social media to make connections, you're missing out. You're missing out. So you got to do both. And Marianne will teach you. One of the things she teaches you is how to, leverage your LinkedIn profile. Part of my AI course on getting a job or getting clients using AI is it will help you update your LinkedIn profile. But having a human being like review it, there's no substitute for that. just keep, I embrace AI, use it every day, but it's never going to be a substitute for a human being. That's why when I hear all these experts saying AI is going to replace all of these jobs, it's not going to replace anybody's job. What's going to happen is people will get different jobs. Okay. And those are people that haven't learned how to embrace AI. I told my team, I have a marketing team, and I told them, you know what? I don't need you to do the posting on social media anymore because I can just do it with AI. And then I said, but I'm not going to do that because that would be stupid. Now I'm going to be spending my time getting the posts, creating the graphics, and posting on social media. So what I told them was part of your job is to become AI experts. Learn how to use AI. And you want to know what happened? They're doing 10 times the amount of work that they did before. You think I'm going to replace them now? I'm like, they made themselves invaluable. Because if I have to get a new graphic designer that doesn't know AI, I just, and I hope that my team isn't here because then they're going to start asking me for raises. But that's how you make yourself invaluable because then you're learning how to use these tools. And business owners, trust me, especially accountants, they're not learning AI. They're going to be looking for people that know AI. If you could put on your LinkedIn profile, your resume, I'm fluent in ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. You're getting an interview because listen, accountants might uh, they're cut from a different cloth, but they're not stupid. They know what the power of AI can do. But here's the problem: if you're an accounting owner, if you own an agency, your time is limited. Your time, they're boxed in. And there's a lot of old time. See, I didn't get boxed in because I'm an entrepreneur. Okay. I leverage technology as soon as it's available. When I saw the remote technology, it opened up the whole world. I said, not only do I not have to drive and commute to clients, but I could literally get a client anywhere in the world. Not only that, I could hire talent anywhere in the world. That's what it did. It opened up the entire world to me to do business in. There's still accountants that only have local clients. I see them on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God. Meanwhile, at Bedrock, we have clients in South Africa, the Philippines, uh, where else? Some other countries, I forget. We have clients all over the United States, Wyoming, uh, where else? Texas, Florida, California, New Hampshire, New York, and a bunch of other states, North Carolina. Okay. This is why where you're sitting right now, you have, and I said this at the beginning, one of the greatest opportunities that there's ever been. And believe it or not, COVID plays a big part of that. COVID, I'm not going to say it was a blessing, but sometimes there is a silver lining. What COVID did was woke up the whole world to the fact that, hey, you can do business remotely. In fact, in the United States, there's a big problem. 4 million people decided not to go back to their jobs. They refused to go back into commuting. They said, no, I actually like working from home. So they either got jobs working from home, like my son and my daughter-in-law, they work from home. My daughter-in-law works for a company in Utah where she comes from. They both work from home. They have two little kids. That's huge. Not only can they be there for their kids, they don't have to spend the time and money commuting. And as far as opportunities, if they both wanted to go somewhere else, they don't even have to actually go somewhere else. We're all connected. For the first time in history, thanks to COVID, I mean, we've all been connected for a long time, just a lot of people didn't realize it. A lot of people didn't realize it. So, all right, Marianne is back. She's given us, okay, so you got her WhatsApp group. It's a great group, very active. Every morning, Marianne gives an inspirational quote, which she actually gets from Claude. I thought she was doing it, but she's leveraging Claude, okay? And Marianne, some people have questions about your coaching. Uh, Basil, Bassi, I can't
What's
pronounce
that?
your name.
Sorry.
Somebody wants to
What's the
know how
question?
to
Sorry.
connect with you. How do they
Yeah,
connect with you?
LinkedIn and WhatsApp.
Yeah, and how
LinkedIn,
much
I
is
post my
your
LinkedIn
coaching?
account and WhatsApp communities. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and WhatsApp. I post already the community WhatsApp
Yeah,
did I
and Ellen
here and then
posted
the link
about
for
Facebook. Yeah, so like I said before,
yeah.
if you want to, you should
Please.
save the chat. There's a lot of useful information here. Uh, we still have over 100 people, and I appreciate it, but to be honest with you, it's Friday and I'm getting tired. What about you, Marianne? Did we take pictures? I guess Marianne's got a bad internet connection. Is everyone is everyone good? Okay, Marianne just posted her LinkedIn profile there. She posted the WhatsApp group. Okay, so I think I'm gonna say good night to everybody. God bless. Thank you all for participating, and hope to see you soon. Thank you all. Thank you, Grace.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Joe.
Joe. Have a
You're
good
watching
Hey,
me,
night. Have a
Coach.
good
Grace.
Thank
weekend.
you.
Watch out for me.
Mm,
Bye.
bye.